Okay, so yeah, we are live. Just waiting for a few more people to join. Hello, everyone. I hope we are audible. I guess I am audible right now. Okay, okay, let's start. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to iDreamCareer's YouTube channel. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Anushri Rastogi, and I will be your host for today's live session. Okay, so as you already know, today we will be discussing about how to get hired for internships, and we will be talking about the strategies from our expert. We have so many students who want to know how to stand out and impress recruiters to land your dream internship. This session is going to be a very valuable, insightful session for all those students. And joining us today as our expert speaker for this is Miss Mehak Goel. She has done her master's from IILM, Graduate School of Management in Noida, and later after that, she got her placement, campus placement with Info Edge India Limited. She has around 5+ years of experience in managing recruitment for non-technical verticals. She is currently associated with iDreamCareer as a talent acquisition specialist. Welcome and thank you, Mehak, for joining us today. It's good to have you.
Thanks, Anushri. It was great that I could be a part of providing guidance to the students who want to get started into the corporate as their future career. So, thank you guys, and I would be happy if we could make it in an interactive session. So, as Anushri mentioned, that I have 5+ years of experience. So, my last experience was with Naukri.com. So as you know that it is somewhat of biggest platform wherein you can find the relevant opportunities. So I will like to give you some tips and tricks how you can crack those interviews, make your resume very relevant, so that it can be eye catching to the recruiters. So I would be happy to see a lot of questions from you so that we can have something fruitful from this. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mehak. It's like I'm also excited for the session. Okay, so before we start, please don't hesitate to use the live chat feature to ask or share your thoughts. We will be taking all the questions at the end of the session. Moving ahead, Mehak, I would first like to know how to decide this is the right time to apply for an internship. Is there any specific time or is there any specific period that one should apply for internship during that time? मतलब ऐसा होता है ना कि आफ्टर 12th रहता है कि अब अप्लाई करना है या ग्रेजुएशन के तुरंत बाद अप्लाई करना है या ग्रेजुएशन करते टाइम अप्लाई करना है. So what is the exact right time?
See, Anushri, usually if I see about the traditional trends that we follow, assuming that you have completed your 12th, so most of the people start getting enrolled into the graduation course. Now in the graduation course also, in the final semester you have an internship that is mandatory for you to do, that is a duration of 2 to 3 months, which usually happens in the May, June or July. But if a person is looking to get into the corporates with some bright skills, theoretical is one thing and practical is one thing. So you can every time when you switch over a year, like when you get passed from year 1 and you get placed in year 2, you have a gap of like 15 days, a month or 2 months. You should of course join the internship during that time so that you have a practical knowledge of the same. So for example, today you think that marketing is interesting to me because I like connecting to people, I like speaking to people. But that is not only the case of marketing. In HR also you need to speak to people. If we talk about operations, support functions, you also need to speak to people. So just by think one, you are having a vague idea, but when you get into the shoes of that particular role, then with the practical exposure you find out that this is what my cup of tea is and this is not what my cup of tea is, and then you can of course make an informed choice. So it is not just after the graduation or just in the year third. After every year and so whenever you are available, you should apply for an internship to get the different flavors of the corporate.
Yeah, so with your answer I understand that मतलब आपका अकॉर्डिंग ये है कि अगर आप मार्केटिंग से कुछ कोर्स कर रहे हो, like suppose a student is doing BMS, or something BCA or BBA he's doing, or he wants to know कि marketing is something for me or not, or maybe IT industry is for me or not, then उसको उस time period पे during the course time period उसको शायद choose कर लेना चाहिए for a better exposure कि हाँ ये graduation के बाद ये मेरे लिए सही opportunity रहेगी या नहीं रहेगी.
करेक्ट करेक्ट सी अनुश्री उसमें क्या है ना कि मार्केटिंग में भी सिर्फ एक चीज नहीं है सेल्स
Yeah,
मार्केटिंग इटसेल्फ इज अ वेरी वाइड डोमेन देन मार्केटिंग अच्छा मुझे चूज करनी है या नहीं करनी है अकॉर्डिंगली आई कैन सेलेक्ट माई पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट कोर्सेज हो सकता है मैंने एक टाइम ऑफ फ्रेम पे सेल्स की इंटर्नशिप करी देन फॉर नेक्स्ट थिंग आई गो इनटू कंटेंट मार्केटिंग देन नेक्स्ट टाइम आई गो इनटू स्ट्रैटेजिक लीडरशिप मैं डिफरेंट फ्लेवर्स टेस्ट करके एनालाइज कर सकती हूँ दैट विच वन इज द मोस्ट लाइकेबल टू मी.
cool, got it. Moving on to the next question. What types of internship does the company offer?
See, for the graduate courses, to be precise, companies usually offer them in the four major sectors. That is HR. Basically, that goes into HR journalist or the recruitment kind of opportunities. Then we have operations, that is all the support functions. Then, we talk about finance. Finance, the opportunities are very less because, that is something related to the numbers and, no company usually likes to share their financial ki hamara kya chal raha hai to the, a small person having the experience with very less kind of, practical exposure. And then we come into marketing, as I just explained in my last thing, that it is a very wide domain. So these are majorly the four categories in which you get. But again, in marketing, what do you get depends upon the type of the company that you are entering, the industry that you are entering. Because
Yeah,
operations for me could be different into iDreamCareer, into edtech, and operations for something into the internet domain, or into any other industry could be very different.
true.
So the roles defined on the industry and the company type also.
ऑलराइट सो मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन और है, मतलब ऐसा बहुत बार क्वेश्चन इस तरीके के आते रहते हैं, बच्चे ये पूछते हैं कि इंटर्नशिप में क्या करना होता है. लाइक व्हेन आई यूज टू टेक द सेकंड राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यू फॉर माय इंटर्न फॉर इंटर्न्स टू गेट हायर, they usually ask will I get a practical exposure or I will be like working. आपकी कॉफी लाने का काम करूंगा, आपके पेपर्स डॉक्यूमेंट करा फोटो कॉपी करानी होगी, यही कराना होगा, या मुझे एक्चुअली में प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपोजर मिलेगा. तो इज इट ट्रू दैट इट दिस हैपेंस इन लॉट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज, और इज लाइक अ मूवी थिंग कि मूवी में ऐसा होता है कि इंटर्न आया है, अच्छा उसको कॉफी के लिए भेज दो, उसको प्रिंट आउट निकालने के लिए भेज दो. यूजली हमने मूवीज और वेब सीरीज में यही देखा है.
देखो अनुश्री क्या होता है ना कि जो आपने वहां देखा है इस और जो एक्चुअली में होता है डिपेंड्स अपॉन द टाइप ऑफ पर्सन दैट यू आर गेटिंग गाइडेंस ऑन टू. पॉइंट नंबर वन इज कि आपका मैनेजर कैसा है. पॉइंट नंबर टू इज कि इंटर्न की इंटेंट क्या है. अब एक इंटर्न है उसको सिर्फ ये है कि मेरे को 2 महीने के बाद एक सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए दैट आई हैव इंटर्न विद एक्स एंड एक्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर दिस ड्यूरेशन. अब वो अगर मेरे को दिख रहा है इंटर्न के अंदर ही जील नहीं है कुछ काम सीखने का, आई एम गिविंग हिम अ टास्क, आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक हिम लर्न, बट उसके अंदर वो जील ही नहीं है, वो करना ही नहीं चाहता है, राइट. देन मैं भी उस पर इतना एफर्ट नहीं डालूंगी, राइट.
या
अगर मुझे दिख रहा है कि जो मेरे अंदर इंटर्न है उसको जील है, उसको अलग अलग चीजें टेस्ट करनी है, उसको अलग अलग चीजों के फ्लेवर्स चाहिए, तो ऑफ कोर्स मैं उसको उस हिसाब से मोल्ड करूंगी. एंड देखो कॉफी लेके आना है ये, अब वो चीजें ना सिर्फ वेब सीरीज में है कि एक इंटर्न को एक एज अ प्रॉप यूज करने का, लेकिन रियल लाइफ में नहीं होता. अभी कल को मुझे बोले कोई इंटर्न कर लो ऐसे, यार मैं अब किसी के ऑफिस में कॉफी थोड़ी देने जाऊंगी.
ट्रू, राइट, गॉट
हम्म.
इट.
सो बड़ी कंपनीज में
मूविंग.
ऐसा नहीं होता. इवन तो छोटी कंपनीज में भी अगर आप सीखना चाहते हो बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हो, नहीं सीखना तो आप सुबह जाओ आराम से बैठो कुर्सी पे और शाम को आ जाओ.
ठीक है. All right. Moving to the next question. What are the key strategies students should use to make their resume or LinkedIn stand out while applying for a competitive internships?
See, when we talk about resume and LinkedIn, these are two different segments altogether. So let's pick up one by one. So resume is basically a face of you on a paper. Me assuming that you are coming to me, महक मुझे एक जॉब चाहिए. अब यार मैं ये थोड़ी कि अब सारी चीज आपसे फेस टू फेस पूछूंगी. I'll tell Anushri get me your resume. Once I have your resume, then I'll have a talk. Now resume is what? A printout or a blueprint of what Anushri is. It has a proper sequence that, first I should have your name, your mail address, your home address, your contact details, because that is first. अब I have a resume, तो first तो मैं ये देखूंगी ना अनुश्री को contact कैसे करूंगी. This is the major blunder that the people do कि वो अपनी email ID और phone number ही डालना भूल जाते हैं. डाल
True.
दिया तो उसमें spell error डाल दी है. एक word इधर उधर हुआ या एक number इधर उधर हुआ, the entire game is gone. राइट, या फिर नंबर चेंज कर लिए, सीवी में अपडेट ही नहीं कर रहा, सीवी में पुराना ही चलता जा रहा है. Then post your name and your personal details. It should come as your education. Recruiter is first interested in कि आपने education क्या कर रहे हैं. Let's say मेरा criteria BBA का है, तो I would not entertain a person from BJMC. Then comes your internships or any kind of life projects that you have done. So, it's not just that students should go into internships, they can do also life projects. क्योंकि लाइफ
Yeah.
प्रोजेक्ट्स की ड्यूरेशन और ज्यादा छोटी होती है ना, 10-15 days, और दे कैन डू दैट पोस्ट देयर कॉलेज आवर्स, because that will give me an idea कि that ये जो candidate है, what kind of position they are applying to, do they have some background of the same, or they are just coming as a fresh blank paper.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. And then at the last, it comes as that they want to highlight any achievements, their interests, their hobbies, some kind of certifications they have done. Certifications can be one thing that, while doing your education, you can get to learn more and more things. So this is what a recruiter looks into your resume. These are the, major things for a fresher.
Got it.
Now,
Um,
for the, LinkedIn profile, of course, you need to have a good profile picture that should be professional.
yeah.
Your LinkedIn background should tell something about your personality. What kind of post do you like? What kind of things that you are, entertaining on your LinkedIn feed also tells about your personality type, what the recruiters see.
Got it. Okay, so moving ahead to the next question, what skills, specific skills or experience catch your eyes as a regularly hiring candidate? Like if you're hiring for some candidates and you have like, I'm sure like, let me tell all the audience that we are hiring for a content writer intern also at iDreamCareer. So those who are interested can can throw an email to hr@idreamcareer.com. Is this the right email ID, Mehak?
That's like they can probably message it at the recruitment at the rate
Okay.
iTeamCareer.com. That would be like, more handy to them.
Yeah.
And I guess you can pen down this email ID into the chat
Yeah.
box
Yeah.
also. That
Yeah.
will
I will
be,
do that.
yeah, to avoid any spell
My
errors.
question was like, so once you get like hiring, हम लोग job portals पे डालते हैं that I dash 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 company is hiring,
Hmm.
and suppose that you get 50 or 60 resumes, right? So what are the like key factors you consider while chunking down those CVs, and what catches your eyes? What skills and experience you look for?
The experience, of course, is a very major thing that, people just drop down their CV. It's not just that, if a recruiter has mentioned that 1 to 3 years of experience is what I want, or I want a person with 0 to 1 years of experience, then the candidate should, from the relevant experience bracket, should only apply. Me assuming out of 60, I'm getting 20 resumes of experience more than 5 years. They're irrelevant to me. I will not even give my 1 minute to them because they are not as per my requirement. Point number two is that, kind of skill sets that you have mentioned in a resume. Assuming you are applying for a content writer and you have mentioned a live project that I've done some blog writing. Of course, that
Yeah.
is gonna be like, somewhat relatable to me. Or, if someone just, enhancing the resumes that on the I've done singing, I've done drawing, I've done XYZ. That is not what I am looking for, right? And then the location comes into place, that, what kind of location I am looking for and where do you live. That
Yeah.
can be one thing, in terms of that. See, any resume, especially for freshers, is all about certifications, your life projects, your co-curricular activities. And it is not that one resume is up for all the requirements. You need to change your resume. You need to highlight the things that is more related to that particular job that you want to apply. This is
Okay, so
how we.
you want to say that one should apply to the job based on, sorry, one should make a CV according to the job profile they are like applying for, right? Is it that something you want
Not
to
just
mention?
about making the fresh CV, it is about tweaking the CV.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, you can't change your education, right?
Yeah. Like you can like mention the skills you have if you have for that particular profile. This is what you want to mention.
Correct, correct, very correct.
Okay. So moving on to the question next, what trends are you seeing in the hiring process lately? Are there any big change in what companies want from candidates or how they conduct interview? लाइक मल्टीपल
Uh,
टाइम्स ऐसा होता है ना कि बहुत सारी कंपनीज में चार चार पांच पांच राउंड होते हैं सो लाइक इज देयर एनी दिस इज हाउ द हायरिंग ट्रेंड हैज बीन नाउ स्टार्टेड लाइक 5 राउंड 6 राउंड मे बी एंड मल्टीपल राउंड्स होते ही रहते हैं ऐसा है इज इट लाइक अ ट्रेंड गोइंग ऑन और दिस इज हाउ हायरिंग वर्क्स
it completely depends upon the organization requirement, their hierarchy, and many other things. Assuming I'm hiring for a senior role, of course I would like to have more level of interviews. I would like to involve my founding team, my ground level people to whom they would be working with. If I'm looking for a junior capacity role, I of course I can wind it up in a 2 to 3 level of interviews. So there is no standard practice that 5 interviews are mandatory. It does depend upon the kind of the role that the organization is hiring for. And now the organizations are there who have been included some kind of test, like aptitude test, personality test, Watson test in their process. But there are companies who are not following that. So there is no standard industry trend that you have to follow.
Okay, got it. Okay, moving on to the next question. For students interested in career in HR, what are some things they can do while still in college, or maybe they just move to college to develop the right skills and mindset? Since you are in HR, so actually we ran a poll on YouTube and Instagram. So these sort of questions we got that people want to know. तो वही क्वेश्चन मैं आपसे आज पूछ रही हूँ तो हो सकता है उन्होंने सोचा होगा कि अच्छा HR है तो उनको पूछना चाहिए ये क्वेश्चन सो या
See, Anushri, if I talk about particular HR, so HR is, a profession that the people very confused. कि यार एचआर का मतलब क्या है? एचआर का मतलब सिर्फ हायरिंग है, या एचआर का मतलब सिर्फ अटेंडेंस मैनेजमेंट है, या लीव मैनेजमेंट है, या पेरोल है? एचआर में बहुत सारी चीजें होती है डिपेंडिंग ऑन दी लेवल ऑफ कंपनी दैट यू आर एंटरिंग इनटू. कोई स्टार्टअप है उसमें अलग रिक्वायरमेंट होगी, कोई कॉर्पोरेट है, एमएनसी है, टॉप लेवल कंपनी है, उसमें अलग रिक्वायरमेंट होगी. तो अभी जब आप कॉलेज लाइफ में हैं या फिर आप ग्रेजुएशन पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन कर रहे हैं, देयर आर मल्टीपल थिंग्स दैट यू कैन डू. Go for an internship, go for a life project, go for a, if you don't have time, go for a virtual internship or a life project with any of the companies. Try getting more and more certifications about a particular thing that you want to get into HR. Or try interning with your college into HR. They would also give you some insights. Like HR needs you to have a figure or a personality that you can present in front of other people. So you need to be very extrovert in terms of communicating your point, right?
या
That is one point which is not just for HR but for the other departments also, that whatever department that you enter into. So for the particular HR, you can get into certifications into HR, life projects, internships. Try connecting with HR professionals. They can also give you guidance via social media platforms like LinkedIn. That's a very professional platform these days. So
ट्रू
the more and more you connect them, more and more you understand, you can get connected and get a clarity ki HR is, my cup of tea, or
और
I should
नॉट
leave it.
Yeah, so when you say there are certification courses, so HR में भी certification courses होते हैं, like
Correct.
okay,
So
all
basically, usually आपने सुना होगा कोई जॉब चाहिए तो यार नौकरी पे चले जाओ,
hmm,
राइट? कोई इंटर्नशिप चाहिए इंटर्नशाला पे चले जाओ. तो
true,
इनके भी अपने सर्टिफिकेशन कोर्सेज होते हैं. अभी
okay,
मी बीइंग अ रिक्रूटर, आई हैव डन रिसेंटली अ कोर्स फ्रॉम नौकरी.
okay,
That was advanced level course of getting more knowledge of Naukri recruiters account.
okay,
So that is Naukri recruiters account is very important to tool that anyone should know who is there into the recruitment field of HR.
okay,
Hmm.
got it. Got it. Thanks. ये मेरे को भी नहीं पता था. So what advice do you have for the interview process? Like how should student prepare? What common mistake do you see?
See, common mistake is that the students try to bluff. They feel that the person on the other side of the table doesn't knows anything. जो मैं कह रहा हूँ वही सच है.
True.
Boss, no. आई इंटरेक्ट विद मोर देन 100 people a day एंड आई नो कौन सच बोल रहा है, कौन झूठ बोल रहा है, कौन कितना सच बोल रहा है, कौन कितना झूठ बोल रहा है, राइट? सो ट्राई टू प्रेजेंट योर सेल्फ वॉट यू आर. Don't try to make yourself a very superior profile which you are not, and don't try to degrade your profile when you know that you are one notch above. Whatever you have, whatever you know, just try to communicate it to the interviewer or the interviewing panel. They will see if you fit their requirement, they will hire you. If you don't fit their requirement, they will not hire, but at least there would not be a expectation mismatch from you. Because assuming you tell me that I know advanced Excel and you don't know even the basic Excel, tomorrow when you come on board with me, I'll say that this you should know,
Yeah,
wherein the reality is that this is what you want to learn from me.
true.
So there is, when there is an expectation or the communication mismatch, the things go to a blunder. So
Yeah,
don't ever do that.
आई एग्री व्हेन पीपल से या कंटेंट राइटिंग ही तो करनी है, हो जाएगा, कर लेंगे, बट वो आते हैं जब ऑन बोर्ड या फिर उन्हें असाइनमेंट दिया जाता है, दे फेल। और समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपन इज असाइनमेंट भी वो लोग करवा लेते हैं किसी से फ्रेंड के थ्रू, दे
Correct.
गेट इट डन, बट इवेंचुअली आप जब ऑन बोर्ड होके आएंगे किसी भी कंपनी में, एक्स वाई जेड कंपनी में, देन यू हैव टू फेस द रियलिटी, एंड दैट टाइम यू माइट गेट लाइक ओके, ये तो मुझे नहीं आता, तो इट्स बेटर टू कम्युनिकेट एंड से कि नहीं आता है या मेरे को सीखना है। आई एग्री।
करेक्ट. सी एंड मोर ओवर क्या होता है ना, लेट्स से आपने किसी कंपनी में इंटर्नशिप ज्वाइन करी है, वहां से आपको हो सकता है कि पीपीओ मिल जाए, प्री प्लेसमेंट ऑफर.
हम्म।
अगर आप उनको झूठ बोल के जाओगे और वो आपको पकड़ लेंगे, तो वो तो अपॉर्चुनिटी और कंपनी गई ना आपके लिए.
ट्रू। Cool. Moving ahead, how are internships helpful for a student in a long run?
See, internships are helpful for the students in the long run, as in you do internship, you like it, you make your career in that. You do internship, you don't like it, you will not get a full time job into that क्योंकि ये मुझे पसंद नहीं आया. So it helps you make an informed career choice. Point number two, it helps you get a practical exposure before the other people. Assuming I've done 6 internships of 2 months each, I've already have a 12 months of experience. Comparing to a person who is going to cooperate as a fresher with no internship experience. Of course, my knowledge is better than that.
Yeah.
With the level of internships, you have better chances of getting your resume shortlisted if the internships are relevant to the job that you are applying for.
ओके। ओके, जब हम इंटर्नशिप्स की बात कर रहे हैं, सो व्हाट प्लेटफॉर्म्स डू यू सजेस्ट कि कहाँ अप्लाई करना चाहिए या फिर क्या चीज़ करनी चाहिए while getting more and more internships to apply? मतलब see, there are multiple platforms. I know Internshala है, LinkedIn है, Naukri है, but what is the right platform? Because there are so many platforms and student often get confused कि कहाँ पे apply करे, कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म सही है, कितनी डेली अप्लाई करनी चाहिए, कितने जगह अप्लाई करना चाहिए। सो व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दिस?
Okay. So see, when I talk about the platform, Internshala is specifically made for internships or the junior level jobs, approximately fresher to a year, 2 years of experience. So if you go to LinkedIn, the source should not be that you want to apply for internships only. You apply for the opportunities that shows that they're hiring interns. Also connect to the professionals or the recruitment people, or even the people from any department if you want to enter a specific company. Maybe they could refer your resume to the correct department, or to the correct person. Point number three is that it's not about just applying to a platform or connecting to the people. It's also about how strong you are building your resume and your personality. Point number four comes in, the best time to apply for an internship or connect to a professional is in the post working hours. Because of course, if 9 to 6 is my job, you message me a number of times on LinkedIn, I would not reply because I am busy in my other work. And for the job postings that they are, try to apply in the later half, or the mid time or the early morning, because that is gonna have the freshness of your profile. So the job posting applications works in last in first out.
ओके।
So जिसने सबसे लास्ट में अप्लाई करा वो सबसे पहले दिखेगा.
ओके।
और वो सबसे पहले कैसे दिखेगा? जिसने सबसे लास्ट में अप्लाई करा होगा. अगर मैं पोस्टिंग में एप्लीकेंट्स 9 बजे देख रही हूँ, तो मुझे एप्लीकेशन 8:30 बजे वाली सबसे पहले दिखाएगा ना, रादर देन जिसने कल रात को 8:30 बजे अप्लाई किया है.
ट्रू।
तो
राइट।
ट्राई टू सी द माइंडसेट कि वो रिक्रूटर कब फ्री होगा और वो कब मुझे रिप्लाई कर सकता है। मेल है, मेल आप सुबह सुबह कीजिए। वो 9:30 बजे अपना मेल बॉक्स खोलेगा, आपका मेल अगर 9 बजे आया तो वो आपके फर्स्ट उसकी नॉलेज में जाएगा,
Right.
रादर देन आपने मुझे 2 दिन पहले 3 दिन पहले किसी भी टाइम किया हो।
This is one of the pro tip. I hope you guys like noted it. So when you say कि आप रात में अप्लाई करो, दिन में अप्लाई करो, ये टाइम होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, बट माई क्वेश्चन इज हाउ मेनी इंटर्नशिप वन शुड अप्लाई? मतलब कई बार ऐसा होता है ना कि हम लोग दिन में 20 इंटर्नशिप्स अप्लाई कर लेते हैं या 25 इंटर्नशिप्स के लिए या जॉब्स के लिए अप्लाई कर लेते हैं एंड एंड अप गेटिंग नथिंग। तो लाइक एंड फिर उसके बाद लास्ट में एक मोटिवेशन डाउन हो जाता है, व्हाई आई एम नॉट गेटिंग हायर्ड, व्हाई पीपल आर नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग मी, एंड यूजुअली इट हैपेंस, it's a natural thing. So how many internships or job offers one should apply for?
See, there is no specified number. The number is that you should apply for the internships or the jobs that are of your interest level. अज्यूमिंग आपको इंटर्नशिप चाहिए, अपने फाइनेंस में भी अप्लाई कर दी, ऑपरेशंस में भी अप्लाई कर दी, मार्केटिंग में भी कर दी, एचआर में भी कर दी, बट द रियलिटी इज दैट यू वांट टू डू ओनली इन मार्केटिंग। तो अगर फाइनेंस से वो रिवर्ट भी आ जाता है, आप सेलेक्ट भी हो जाते हो, देयर इज नो यूज।
Yeah.
So apply to the domain that you want to actually explore. That's only the key thing. It's not about any number that makes you a commitment. It might be the case that you apply for one internship you want to actually do and you get selected in that. And then it might be a case that you apply for 100 internships and no one and come back to you because your resume or your profile is not very much attracted to that platform.
Got it. Okay, moving ahead to the next question. Like, any advice you would like to give to all of the students who are watching us right now?
See, just one advice is try to connect with the professional counselors to get clarity on your career paths. Again, I would not say कि आपने किसी से भी ऐसे पूछ लिया वो आपको समझ जाएगा, नहीं. If someone is giving you a dedicated time, like the professional counselors, these days are there in the market, like IDC is also providing you the services of hiring a professional counselor who can actually understand your life skills, your life ambitions, and your interests, and guide and crave a proper career path is what you should look for. ऐसा नहीं मम्मी ने कहा था, पापा ने कहा था, इसने कहा था, उसने कहा था. सी अल्टीमेटली यू हैव टू परफॉर्म इन दैट पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट और दी टाइप ऑफ कोर्स दैट यू आर एंटरिंग इनटू. तो अपनी मर्जी से करो तो मजा भी आएगा और सब कुछ प्रॉपर आपको इंटरेस्ट लेवल के साथ आप एक अचीवमेंट्स भी अचीव कर पाएंगे.
एंड विद दैट मम्मी पापा ने कहा था या भैया ने कहा था, तो मुझे एक याद आया कि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्या होता है ना, लोग अपने रेफरेंस में नोन के अंडर इंटर्नशिप्स या जॉब के लिए अप्लाई कर लेते हैं एंड दे समटाइम्स आई हैव सीन सर्टेन केसेस. सो वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड वाज हु गॉट इंटर्नशिप, उसके चाचा की कंपनी थी, वहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप्स के लिए अप्लाई किया एंड ही गॉट सिलेक्टेड बिकॉज वो होता है ना कि अच्छा
हम्म.
नोन है, कर लेते हैं. But after 3 months, when I asked him, ki, what you have learned, he said nothing. Reason? Because nobody gives him work. उस टाइम पे उसको कोई काम ही नहीं देता था क्योंकि उनको लगता था कि अरे इसको क्या ही काम देना है. सो इट्स लाइक व्हाट यू सजेस्ट कि वी शुड लुक फॉर लाइक अपॉर्चुनिटीज अदर देन नोन और क्लोज सर्कल्स, और या फिर ऐसा लाइक वंस इन अ वाइल वाला केस होता है ये?
See, Anushri, again, it has multiple things to consider. आप अपने relatives की reference internships में जाओ, that's not a challenge. But challenge क्या है? आपका intent. Again, candidate का intent is everything. If you have the zeal to learn, you will. If you don't have, you would not. It completely depends upon the candidate because in internship, no one would really bother to come and again to teach you like you are taught in a class.
Yeah.
कॉर्पोरेट है, सबके पास अपना काम है, कोई आपको पेप टॉक देने के लिए नहीं बैठा है. अगर आप किसी के पास जाओगे समझने, कुछ सीखने, कुछ ज्ञान लेने, वो जरूर देंगे आपको. नो वन वुड रन आफ्टर यू कि यार मैंने आपको ये टास्क दिया था, आपने ये किया नहीं. आपको उसके पास जाना पड़ेगा कि आपने मुझे सर ये टास्क दिया था, ये मुझसे हुआ नहीं क्योंकि मुझे ये चैलेंजेस आ रहे थे, हेल्प मी ओवरकम देम. सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट योर इंटेंट. यू वांट टू लर्न, गुड. यू डोंट वांट टू लर्न, मोर गुड.
Okay. So yeah, that's those were the questions we had during that poll. Now we have some live questions. So please feel free to answer all question all. Sorry, ask all the questions you have. We will be answering your questions now. So Sushant is asking any prerequisites for internships in HR.
Sorry, come again.
Any prerequisites for internships in HR.
Okay. Now, when we talk about prerequisites to specifically get into HR, as I mentioned during my conversation earlier as well, try to get certifications. Try to have your theoretical knowledge on track, because if you don't have the theoretical knowledge, you will not be able to relate it to the practical life. Try to get enrolled in some courses. Try to get enrolled in some life project, so that they can give you better clarity for your internship. So life project is a baby step, and the internship is one step above, and then your
Yeah.
final job comes.
All right. Moving on to the next question. Nimisha is asking, are companies expecting experience from a student who is in second year, third year for internship?
No, they don't expect experience, because they know that you would not be, of course, doing a job along with your college hours. So they just want, and what do they expect is that you should have a basic knowledge, you should have a basic understanding of what's running in the market about your course. If you have done any certification, any life project, any co-curricular activity in your campus that can be related to the kind of job that you are applying for, and how do you present it.
Yeah. All right. One more thing she is asking, can you provide some example what type of jobs does not ask for any sort of experience, prior experience? I hope I have got your question right, Nimisha. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
See, if you are a fresher and you're applying to any job, of course, they would not be expecting you experience, because you've mentioned clearly that you're a fresher. So every job has the opportunities for entry level role, and for the senior level roles also. It is not that a particular job will hire only experience. Every role has opportunity for fresher as well as experienced people.
Cool. Rahul is asking how to connect professionals from various backgrounds. I think he's asking how to connect professionals people.
So you can of course go into LinkedIn, message them or ping them on LinkedIn. Try to fetch their email IDs from LinkedIn, and try to share your resume on LinkedIn, or on the email IDs. If they don't revert it once, try reaching them again after 2 3 days. And it should be a polite message, with some insights. Try to highlight something about you. People do this mistake. Hi, how are you? No, when you're trying to connect to a professional network, for a professional reason, try to mention that, I would say that, hi, I am Mehak, this is kind of my experience, this kind of an education, and this is what I want to do. So that the other person is clear about your intent and message one, instead of talking you for a 10 message.
Okay. Mehak, like I also want to know what are the five things one should not skip in a CV.
Education, the personal details, their marks. People do try to hide their marks if they are not good, but it shouldn't be very clear. Their years of education, it should be very clear and upfront mention in that. Their location, like in present of their present address and their home address. Their languages, what do they know. Their age, that means they have to mention their date of birth. Their co-curricular activities or any kind of certifications they have done, any kind of life projects they have done. Industrial visits is something that freshers can specially put for, as we are more focused about internships. Industry visits also plays a very important role.
All right. And what are the five things one should not put on a CV and should
uh,
avoid?
See, they should not put on the resume is that anything that is not relevant to your professional network. So for example, people do put down that I like to cook. Cooking is no what relevant to your resume unless and until you are applying for a hospitality industry.
Yeah.
So that I am least interested on that. Your family details. What is your mother doing? What is your father doing? What are the number of siblings that you have? I am not interested. Then
Hmm.
people do, sometimes do they, it's a very funny element that, people won't mention that I am looking for a job in HR and want to settle abroad. The career objective has to be
Yeah,
very clear. If you want to
yeah,
settle abroad, apply for opportunities in abroad. Or if your long term plan is to settle in abroad, it is not required at very initial phase.
right. So, moving ahead, I want to know what is should be the chronology while making a CV. What should come first and what should come last? So, is there anything like you can specify? Okay, this should come at the top and this should come at the bottom.
Okay. So specifically for interns, your name, then your personal details like your email ID, phone number, your present address. Then comes out your objective, career objective, that what exactly you want to do, how do you want to see yourself in the longer run. Your education, your industry exposure, as in like industry visits if you have done any. Then your certifications, your co-curricular activities, your activities and interests. Then, of course, you can mention some of your personal details like your date of birth, your present address, your current address, your languages that you know. And then, of course, you can end a CV. And the most important thing is that a CV should not be more than one page
For a
if
fresher.
you are a fresher,
Yeah,
specifically for a fresher.
cool. I have one more question. As an HR round, usually HR asked for strengths and weakness, and someone is asking, I really get stuck in that question. What should be the good answer?
See, strengths and weakness is a very tricky question that the interviewer asks because they want to judge about, like, what do you know about yourself, right? अभी if I ask this question to you अनुश्री as a host कि अनुश्री आप अपनी strength और weakness बताओ, तो मैं तो अनुश्री को नहीं जानती, राइट?
Right.
अब अनुश्री के ऊपर है कि वो मुझे अपनी क्या स्ट्रेंथ बता रही है एंड वो अपनी पर्सनालिटी को कितना डेप्थ में जानती है.
Yeah.
अभी कोई एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट है, वो किसी के लिए स्ट्रेंथ हो सकता है, किसी के लिए वीकनेस हो सकता है.
True.
सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल पंचुअलिटी, I say that punctuality is a strength to me because whatever the deadline is given to me, I like to complete my work into the deadlines. But for someone, punctuality is a weakness because they say कि I try to do my work on time, but मैं नहीं होता मुझसे. I am not able to do, right?
Hmm.
Now, just one thing is that how do you present that, if someone is saying that I am not able to do work in the deadlines, the person can present it as at it is like that, to convert it, though I try to get when I get a work, I try to complete it with the deadlines, but with the specified matching criteria that has been given by the business stakeholders or by manager. I would not just like to complete it under the deadlines just because for the sake of completing it. Now what does it highlight कि ये कैंडिडेट है, इसको काम करना है, इसको ये नहीं कि डेडलाइन में करना है, इसका काम और इसका फोकस ये कि मुझे एफिशिएंटली करना है.
Yeah.
अभी आपने क्या मुझे ये भी बता दिया कि हो सकता है मैं डेडलाइन मिस कर दूं, लेकिन आपने मुझे उसको एज अ स्ट्रेंथ ये बता दिया कि मैं जो काम करूंगी दैट वुड बी एफिशिएंट एंड इफेक्टिव एनफ.
True.
तो दैट्स हाउ यू प्रेजेंट द ऑल बॉल गेम इज कि कैसे आप किसी भी चीज को
Present
प्रेजेंट
her.
कर रहे हैं.
Right. I hope you got your answer. We have one more question. How can a fresher outshine their competitor candidates who have experiences already in hand?
Okay. Your communication, your
True.
knowledge about the outer market, your grab on the theoretical concepts if you have not, your live exposure, it is not कि आपको corporate में exposure होना चाहिए. You can have your exposure from the daily life also if you are a fresher, to be precise.
True.
जैसे आप
And
हो सकता है मार्केटिंग, आपने बोला कि मुझे सेल्स पसंद है. सेल्स हो सकता है अगर आपके फादर का बिजनेस है, आपने उसमें सेल्स करी हो, आपने उनको सपोर्ट किया हो, या फिर हो सकता है आपने किसी कोई वेंडर है बाहर, उसको सेल्स में मदद करी हो आपने.
Mhm. And आजकल schools में भी there are different clubs. ठीक है, schools में, colleges में, where you can take part and you can like upskill your com skill or maybe like your other type of skills you are interested in. So you can identify that also. I
करेक्ट
hope you
करेक्ट
got
लाइक
your answer, Anshika. That's all. We don't have any questions right now. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Meanwhile, I want to know, Meg, um, like how to know that I am the right fit for the organization. Sometimes, usually, this question also get asked many times, like, why we hire you? Why should we hire you? So, इसका आंसर क्या होना चाहिए?
वाई शुड बी हायर यू में अल्टीमेटली रिक्रूटर ये सुनना चाहता है कि जो उसका काम है, जो उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है, आप उससे रेलेवेंट हो या नहीं.
Okay.
Assuming, I am looking for a person who has some exposure into
Hmm.
finance, something I am looking particular into journal accounting, let's say.
Okay.
And the person is coming to me that, ma'am, I have done sales, I have done operations, I have done HR, I know this, I know that, but I don't know anything about finance. Then what, right?
Yeah.
It makes and incline your thought process to what mine is.
True.
When rather I would like to hear about you is that, ma'am, in finance, we have learned this concept, and I would like, to apply this concept into the real and the practical life. I have gone through a particular news clipping, which was about this particular thing of finance. And I want to learn from you that, what exactly is the crux, or, the agenda behind that, or, let's say, how do they reach out to a particular thing?
Yeah.
Now it shows me that, that the interest of the candidate lies into finance.
True. So one more thing. There's a very common question asked generally. Is there any question? And most of the times, candidates get blank. They don't know what to ask. So is it compulsory to ask something? या फिर ये बोला जा सकता है कि no, I don't have any question. Like, what is the right answer to that question?
See, the right answer is neither yes, neither no. If you feel like you want to ask something, ask. लेकिन वो बेवकूफ क्वेश्चन नहीं होना चाहिए.
Yeah.
मैम, मुझे वर्किंग आवर्स एक्सटेंड करने पड़ेंगे. मैम, मुझे वर्किंग आवर्स के बाद रुकना पड़ेगा, सुबह जल्दी आना पड़ेगा, आप मुझे क्या सैलरी दोगे? दीज काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आपके ऑलरेडी जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिखे होते हैं.
True.
Assuming I have mentioned a budget of 0 to 5 LP and you are saying, मैम, मेरी ना एक्सपेक्टेशन 10 LP, आप उसको कर सकते हैं?
Hmm.
Now, this is just a irrelevant and of course a very foolish question. बिकॉज मैंने जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में मेंशन किया है, आपने तभी अप्लाई किया है ना. इट मीन्स आपने जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन ही नहीं पढ़ा है.
Right. Right.
Rather, if you ask a question like, how could be my personal goals be inclined to the company goals, or what kind of learning opportunities I would have into this organization, into this particular role, or what kind of my ideal day would look like.
Yeah.
So this is something shows कि आप रोल में इंटरेस्टेड हो and you want to know more about the same, rather than ऐसे ही कुछ भी क्वेश्चन just for the sake of पूछने के लिए आप पूछ रहे हो.
Right. Cool. Okay. That's all. I wanted to ask. So yeah, if you want to add something, Meg, you can probably.
Sure. So, guys, again, whatever the questions asked by to me, by the Anushri, I've answered all of that. Of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. I would be happy to interact with you all over there if you have any kind of queries and all. But again, इंटर्नशिप करनी है, इंटर्नशिप करो, लेकिन सिर्फ करने के लिए नहीं. इट शुड बी अबाउट दैट यू वांट टू मेक एन इन्फॉर्म्ड करियर चॉइस. Whenever you get into internship, try to learn from that. Now internship is a phase that you have to run after them to make you learn concepts, how the things work. It is not about the company that would come after you, that seekho seekho seekho. No. And
Yeah.
be aware what's running in the market.
Sure. Cool. So yeah, thank you so much, Mehak. Okay, so before we close up the today's session, I want to thank Mehak for sharing your expertise and taking out time to join us for this live. I hope everyone got answers to their questions. If you have any more questions or have any queries regarding any career path, like just Mehak mentioned, You should always choose your career that you are interested in, and that is aligned with your interest, capabilities, aptitude, and personality. You can simply click on the link in the chat box, and it will take you to our ask me anything page, where you can get all your guidance, all your question answered from our top experts who will help you with your queries. So go ahead and explore, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below to stay updated and never miss any of our weekly career classes and other insightful content. Thank you all for joining us today. We will see you in the next session, same time, same place. All right.